Hello Uplanders, I'm YK2012, founder of the Upland Guide. In this video, I'm over here on Reddit. I'm going to be going over one of the top posts here in this thread and debunking some of the false statements or half-truths that are in the post that has been upvoted the most. In the first week of August 2022, Upland announced an economic update where they are looking to present a proposal to the community on how the Upland pool is to be funded. There are two different financial pools within the game, the Upland pool and the community pool, and Upland is proposing a new method on how to fund the Upland pool. Players in the community will also have an opportunity to vote on this matter and have our say in this debate. If you didn't have an opportunity to learn more about these different financial pools and how it is currently funded, the links to these videos are right up here. X1 the Gamer made a post here and he is the top community manager. I believe that's his position. And he says, what are your thoughts on the economic update? There's also a link here, and to this entire thread, I will put a link in the description below. And he wants to know what our thoughts are. If we scroll down here, we can see that this user Spectacle Maker posted 7 days ago, and this has 24 upvotes already. And this is after I had filtered to go see the top comments. Here we can see in summary, he says minting more UPX into the Upland pool is the best solution. Before I get into more detail about this post and exactly where his false statements are or incomplete statements, I just want to clarify here that my stance is still undecided. I'm still learning more about this topic. I'm not an economist and I don't have an economic background. I'm learning along the way, just like a lot of you. But after reading the white paper and after having an opportunity to ask some direct questions to some of the Upland team members, I feel like I do have a strong grasp around the facts of what currently exists and what the new proposal is. And I want to dive now into this post. I'm going to start here with the very last sentence that he says here. It says, the answer is not to deplete the community pool and decrease earnings. Minting more UPX into the Upland pool is the best solution. Now, I don't know what the best solution is. He might be correct in that it is the best solution, but this solution is not one of the two solutions that are proposed. The existing proposal in the white paper does not propose that minting of UPX will be only into the Upland pool. And the proposed solution by Upland is that the UPX would be minted directly into the community pool only. And he says something very similar towards the beginning. The proposal outlines a methodology that draws UPX from the community pool and puts it into the Upland pool instead of minting new UPX into the Upland pool, which is currently the method in the white paper. According to the white paper, UPX is to be minted to both the Upland pool and the community pool simultaneously. So this is a true statement, but it is only a half statement. I'm now here on page 15 of the Upland white paper, and it says here, UPX minted monthly to community pool per average daily active user is 160 UPX. And this is the amount of UPX minted monthly into the community pool. It also says UPX minted monthly to Upland pool per average daily active user. And again, it says amount of UPX minted monthly into the Upland pool. So here we can clearly see that what this player is stating is not the entire truth. Continuing on to his 2 points, he says, here are some concerns and the reason I think we need to encourage everyone to vote no. As they drain the community pool, they can use this as an excuse to continue cutting earnings without providing all players a mechanic for replacing those earnings. They first cut earnings in January, and here 7 months later, less than 1% of players have the ability to earn UPX through MetaVentures. I think when he says less than 1% of players have the ability to earn UPX through MetaVentures, he's referring to the amount of players who are actually able to open MetaVentures. If that's what he's referring to, that is true, but let's not forget that everyone does have the ability to earn UPX through MetaVentures. I don't own one, but I can go to a MetaVenture and list my Block Explorer or my Legit for sale. I will earn UPX from that. So everyone does have the ability to earn UPX through MetaVentures. It's just that not everyone has the ability to open up a MetaVenture of their own just yet. On a side note, I don't think everybody is going to be opening up MetaVentures of their own. There are MetaVenture dues that MetaVenture owners have to pay on a monthly basis, and as the market becomes more saturated, those fees will increase. So there is a level of equilibrium where Upland feels that there is a correct number of MetaVentures of each type in each different city. If you want to learn more about MetaVentures, take a look at the link in the upper right-hand corner for additional content. As for the first sentence, my personal opinion is that I believe that Upland has the community's best interest at hand, and they are looking to do what is best for the overall economy. If that necessarily aligns with specific players' goals, I don't know, but I think that they are looking to create something that is sustainable, and I don't think that they will be decreasing any earnings without first providing people with a way of replacing those earnings. On to point number two, they are concerned about inflation, the result of printing more UPICs. However, this is not a real world economy. This is true that Upland is not a real world economy, but it is being designed to be as realistic as possible, where people with some basic level of economics can come in and work safely without a lot of outside influences. As I spoke of earlier, in the white paper, it says that every month a certain amount of UPICs will be minted to the community pool as well as the Upland pool. So if Upland needs a certain amount of UPICs for each month in order to sustain the Upland pool, there's no questions asked as to whether that amount of UPICs is also needed in the community pool. The way it's written, it says mint to both pools every month, period, no questions asked. If the community pool is healthy and there's no need to actually add more UPICs to it, that could lead to undesired levels of inflation moving forward. The next sentence I want to address is down here, where he says Upland should want all properties to be valued above their mint value at all times. I don't think it's an issue that what Upland should want. The question is, what is the market? If I bought a property and I want to sell it for US dollars under mint price because I want to get money out immediately, I should be able to do that. If I bought a property and I realize that maybe it was a mistake and I want to recover as much UPEX as possible and I'm willing to take a loss on it, I should be able to do that. If someone's willing to buy that up, then that's their prerogative as well. I think this is something out of Upland's control. If people are saying that properties are not valuable at their mint price, then maybe people shouldn't be minting them. There is no rule in Upland saying that every property has to be minted. There is no rule saying you cannot sell properties under mint price. The only thing I would ask these players who are buying properties under mint price, if the reason you're buying this is for the property earnings, how will that affect your long-term game when Upland does decrease the property earnings? Today, when you are earning 14.7% yield based on the mint price, and if you bought a property at 80% mint price, that's a great yield today. But when those property earnings will drop further down the line, would it still make sense for you to have minted that property now? It will take you longer to return that investment. Does that still make sense for your personal game in Upland? The next topic here is regarding rent. One of the things they point to is rent as a replacement for earnings. This is a fallacy because, again, Upland is not the real world. In the real world, you need shelter. You buy or rent a place to live because you have to. Upland is different. People can choose not to play Upland. So unless there is an extremely compelling reason to play Upland, then there isn't a very compelling reason for someone to rent from a property owner. This is especially true when we have a virtually unlimited supply of property that can be purchased at extremely cheap prices. Based on this last statement, if anyone has seen any cheap properties in Manhattan, San Francisco, Rutherford, or some of these other cities in Upland, please let me know because I am looking for them. If you look at the Upland metaverse like some of these other metaverses like Sandbox or Decentraland, where there you can just teleport yourself from one end of the world to the other end of the world, and location has absolutely no meaning, then yes, any property will do in Upland. Upland is designed in a way that to travel from one place to another, it takes two things. It takes time and it takes UPEX. If living in Manhattan is important to you, then there isn't an unlimited supply of property that can be purchased at extremely cheap prices. And you might want to rent from somebody else because you aren't willing to pay these extremely high land prices in order to be a property owner in Manhattan. The same could be said for specific nodes. Even in cities where properties are still available to mint and there is no lack of properties that you can purchase at under mint prices, if you want to live in close proximity or within a specific node, then the prices there will also be high. And as for whether it's okay to be homeless in Upland or not, we don't know what the future holds. There might be a rule saying that you're not allowed to be homeless, that you must rent from somebody else. I don't know if that's going to happen, but I don't think that we can dismiss that possibility. Regardless of that, we do know that in the future, in order to vote in your community, in your neighborhood, in your city, and even within Upland, you will need to be a KYC player as well as have an official residence within Upland. So it might not be important for some players to have that and have the ability to vote, but it will be important for some other players, and they will absolutely want to have a home in Upland, whether it be one that they own or whether it be one that they rent in a community that they want to be a part of. Regarding the property earnings, he goes on to say earnings are the key to the entire economy, and without them, Upland completely collapses. This is something that I agree with today, and I think that is why the earnings are where they are. They are at 14.7% today as of August of 2022. There are still lots of features that have yet to be implemented in Upland. I think that as more players are able to open up meta ventures, as we have outdoor decor, car racing, implementation of the NFT portal, cars and transportation between manufacturing plants, showrooms, and players' homes, rent, as I mentioned earlier, all of these things have additional opportunities for people to make money. And that is when these yields will start to decrease. As more players are going to be spending money and UPX in other aspects of the game, then they are able to decrease these earnings. Until then, I would agree that these earnings do have to stay where they are. But to say that earnings are the key to the entire economy today, tomorrow, and forever into the future, I do not think that that is true at all. To summarize, he goes on to say the answer is not to deplete the community pool and decrease earnings. Minting more UPX into the Upland pool is the best solution. With the new proposal of how the Upland pool will be funded, it enables the opportunity to ask a question like, is the community pool healthy? Do we need to mint UPX to it? If we don't need to mint UPX to the community pool, then we don't have to. According to the existing proposal, every single month we must mint UPX to the community pool. Minting more UPX into the Upland pool is the best solution. It might be, but it's just not one of our options right now. I hope that this video has clarified some misconceptions regarding this proposal on how the Upland pool will be funded. Make sure to check out this video below or the playlist to learn more about the Upland economy.